Do you ever wonder how much protein you actually need? Protein yogurts, protein pancakes, protein crisps. But what if I told you too much protein could actually be stopping you building muscle? Because we kind of reached a point in fitness where the world think if some is good, then more is better. And that's not just wrong, it's actually hurting your gains. And it did to mine for years. If you're wanting to get in shape and you're new here, I'm Sylvester. I've coached 9 years, over 10,000 people, sold thousands of recipe books, and I try and get people to sift through all the noise of all the BS and optimal workouts and actually go with stuff that's realistic. For example, a lot of people think you need to train 5 days a week, when in actual fact, for most people, most normal people, 3 is going to be better. Because what normal life sustains 5 days a week working out? Not many. So over the course of a 2-week period, if you're the type of person that goes 5 days one week and none the next because you're overwhelmed with work or life, over the course of 2 weeks, that's 5 workouts. You go 3 in something that's sustainable, that's 6. Over the course of time, it's going to make things so much easier. So, to get to protein, you probably heard 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And the idea of this isn't necessarily wrong, but when people are trying to diet, lose fat, etc., it's extremely misplaced and absolutely not needed. What you actually need is around 0.7 to 0.8 grams of goal or lean body weight. Let me explain why, because I know people get confused. Protein is the building blocks for muscle. MPS, muscle protein synthesis. Very hard to say. Right? You tear the muscle fibres, protein rebuilds those fibres bigger and stronger. So protein is important. I'm not disputing that. The amount that we need is the thing that I'm disputing in this industry. Because at the end of the day, most people are overweight, trying to lose weight, build a bit of muscle. You can do both simultaneously, but you'll really struggle if you're trying to go too high in protein, and here's why. Protein builds muscle, but carbs fuel the muscle. They fuel the workouts, they fuel your energy. So if you're on any sort of restrictive calories, the 3 macronutrients that you have are protein, carbs and fat. And the only thing that actually really fuels your workout and gets that solid, not just pump, but actual few extra reps in to help tear the fibres, is carbohydrates. The fullness, the strength in the gym, that is all down to that. So for every 1 gram of carbohydrates, you store 3 to 4 grams of water. So when you start adding more carbs in, there might be a slight fluctuation in the scale, but there's absolutely no difference in fat, body fat I mean. So let me give you an example. Let's just say you're dieting. You're trying to lose fat, you're trying to build muscle, your protein's way too high, you're on limited calories, which means your energy is going to be limited, especially if you're on lower carbs because you're trying to get too much protein in. You feel flat, you're not hitting PBs, you're not able to perform in the gym properly, so you do not build as much muscle as you could. So not to get it twisted, you absolutely need protein to build muscle. You do. But there's only so much that you need. And if I'm perfectly honest, you can get the majority of that, if not all of it, in from your 2 or 3 meals a day. And there's so many people pushing protein everything. Protein bread, protein this, protein that, protein desserts. I've done a separate video on that. Desserts should not be high in protein. They do not need to be, because if you follow the 80-20 rule, where 80% of your diet is healthy, whole foods, high protein, fibre, etc., the 20% should be based on what you enjoy. You don't need your snacks to be high in protein. You just need to stick within a calorie target, have enough carbs to fuel what it is that you're doing, and hit that amount of protein. You got on so much better. And I used to be the same. I used to think every single meal, protein, cereal, everything had to be high in protein, when it doesn't. Let's say your goal's 150 grams of protein. You get 50 in for breakfast, 50 for lunch, 50 for dinner. You've got a few hundred calories left. Eat what you want, and to be honest, that's probably going to be carbs. So if you're struggling to perform in the gym when you're in a deficit, chances are it's maybe because you're going too high in protein. If you want to take away all the noise, there's some free information, meal plans, recipe books, etc. down below. And if you can follow me for a bit and you feel as if I like the fact that I don't just try and sell you something that isn't correct, and you want some actual coaching, that's down below as well. And one of the biggest factors that I feel as if people really struggle with is their weekends. So if you want to watch that video, you can go here. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.